You have activated a podcast from the Psycom Network.
And now, on with the show.
This week's episode is brought to you by VideoGirls.com. VideoGirls is a video game community dedicated to funny, informative and entertaining video game reviews. Whether they be retro or current, PC or console, handheld or smartphone, no game is safe from the piercing insight of the VideoGirls crew. Head over and check out some of their awesome video blogs and especially have a look at their Gotta Review 'em All Pokémon feature, where the team are working their way through and reviewing Pokémon games.
Welcome to Retrograde, Episode 3. Today we're going to be looking at Pokémon Red and Blue, but before we get started, let's have a quick blurb on the game from the Chief Editor of Psycon, Brecky Thompson.
Pocket Monsters Red and Pocket Monsters Green were released in Japan for the Nintendo Game Boy in February of 1996. 2 years later, after translation, graphical updates, and the addition of new dialogue, the games were released in the United States under the altered name Pokémon. The games see the player wander the fictional world of Kanto in a quest to become the ultimate Pokémon master by capturing and training over 150 various types of wild animals, who are then pitted against each other in turn-based combat. The Pokémon franchise has spawned dozens of other areas, including collectible cards, toys, TV shows, clothing, music, and has even spawned 15 films. Since Pokémon Red and Blue, there have been 39 Pokémon games in total, which combined have sold over 210 million units worldwide, making Pokémon one of the most successful video game franchises of all time.
Thanks for that, Brecky.
My name's Jack Marshall. I'm joined by Anthony Hobday.
Hello.
Lizanne Fisher.
Hello!
And James McVedian.
Hi.
Hey! Episode 3, guys. We're excited. We're all happy about this. Back once again with the Retrograde Masters.
Pokemon!
I've been wanting to sign up
I can't believe you just said that, Jack.
That's going to be our catchphrase from now on.
Back once again with the Retrograde Masters.
Back once again with the Retrograde Masters. Yeah, I'll get some DJ to do
Oh,
it
actually,
all.
that is quite nice.
It is quite good, yeah.
Pokemon.
Yes, we are looking at Pokemon Red and Blue. Before we go into that, let's, warm up. How are we all? What have you guys been up to? Anything interesting? Anyone got any?
I want to say, as a follow-up to the Humble Bundle stuff we were talking about last
week.
time,
Okay.
it just finished and made over $5 million, which is a record for them.
That's awesome.
It wasn't
So-
like 4 million of that just Notch going crazy.
I think, probably mostly Notch. But
I think that he ended up giving something like 12,000.
And the bronies.
I checked.
Yeah, can't forget that.
I gave 60p, so made good effort there. Yeah, anyone else got any other interesting news? Anything going on?
Well, the Euros are on at the moment.
Yeah.
And I have been enjoying the fact that there's been lots and lots and lots of football on. We had a nice result last night. Obviously, because England won. But
A lot of the Psycon authors are Swedish. We've got Petter, Mattisson, Brecky Thompson, obviously. Erica, his fiancée, is Swedish.
but it's all right.
Just thought I'd mention that.
But it's all right because Sweden won Eurovision. So it doesn't matter that we beat them in football because
they've got
they
the
won
music,
Eurovision.
yeah.
They've got music.
They've got the music.
Wait,
they've got the
football's the one where you throw it, right?
Anyway, Euro 2012's on and I'm loving it. So that was all I wanted to mention this week. Oh, and I bought Skyward Sword, which I haven't started playing
with
yet.
controller.
Yes.
I see the gold controller right there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so I'm very excited about starting playing that next weekend.
I listened to this week for the first time, and I've never heard it before, that song "Call Me Maybe," and I actually turned around to Lizanne and said, "I've never heard of this song before.
That song is
This
everywhere
really
right now.
catchy." I have never heard it until Tuesday.
It's just suddenly exploded. It's everywhere.
I know, but I'm. This is how out of touch I am with modern music. I honestly didn't know that was. a
I've
thing.
never even heard of this song.
You will hear it
You're
soon
kidding
enough.
me.
Okay,
I like the way I'm
Yeah.
mocking you, even though I hadn't heard it till Tuesday. But yeah, this
Yeah.
song apparently has been going around
it?
for
Who is it
months.
by?
No, it's been around for months.
Carly
but-
Rae Jepsen.
Oh, I didn't
You know the
even
one
know
that's
that.
"This is crazy. I've just
Sing
met
it,
you."
sing it,
Oh,
sing
right, I've
it.
heard-
Don't
yeah,
sing
you
it.
could sing it. Oh, that one, yes. I know it very well. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's a good song. Okay, let's jump into Pokemon Red and Blue. That was
Well, what about James's banter? Didn't
Oh, did
James,
James
want to
have
say
any
anything
banter?
about banter?
You're busting my balls here, bro. Right, this week, what have I done? Well,
Your
where to
Pokeballs.
begin? So I woke up on Monday, had some breakfast. No, this week's been just exams. So, if you guys have any queries about philosophy of mind, I would be more than happy to help you out with my D-grade knowledge.
So I'm expecting a bit of Pokemon philosophy, approach to Pokemon from the philosophical mind. Philosophical mind, that's the word I wanted. The philosophical
Oh,
mind.
Jack.
Just brought the tone of this discussion down like five notches.
It's a hard word to say. I struggle with the big words. Alright, let's do Pokemon Red and Blue.
Whoop, whoop.
And Zan, you chose this game.
Yes.
Why?
Because Pokemon, when it started back in the mid-90s, just erupted, and it was everywhere. It was on TV. It was you had the trading cards. All cereals were branded with it, and all the prizes you got in there were related to Pokemon. It was, as a kid, I was 11 when that happened, and just everywhere was Pokemon. Everything was Pokemon. And then the games came out, and my brother got them, and I was always heartbroken because I didn't actually own them myself. But the games came out, and just loved them, addicted to them. They were brilliant.
What year was this?
1996.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
When the games came out.
It must have been about 98.
Games came out in 96.
No, I wish I'd have researched this up now, but I'm pretty sure the games came out in 96 in Japan, but didn't actually come out in America till 98, so I'd imagine the UK is the same. I'm not sure. I'd have to actually look that up now. I'm kind of looking now, because, the Blue was, February of 96 in Japan, and then they were released 2 years later in the Western release. So I think it was 98. But anyway, it doesn't really matter too much.
Okay, so I was 13, not 11.
That's the thing, because I'm the same age as you, I didn't get into Pokemon back in the day. I remember playing
Loser.
I remember playing it like a little bit, but I didn't really get into it. But I mean, so we've been playing Pokemon Red and Blue. Two of us I took Red.
As did I.
You guys did Blue?
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. But what was the difference between actual Red and Blue?
Different Pokemon you can catch, because there's some that are only available in Red and some that are only available in Blue. And basically it was a very, very, well, in my opinion, it was a clever marketing tool, so that you would have to buy both games and then trade between each other.
Well, not necessarily, because, you didn't have to buy both if your friend had the other version.
But you did have to buy a link-up cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So either way, they got extra money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk actually about... So we've all been playing it the last couple of weeks. I guess we'll start with you, Dan. How do you think it's aged well? Did you enjoy playing it again?
I absolutely love playing it again, because it's Pokemon, and the game hasn't changed, which is what is part of its charm. And we're going to discuss that later, because I know you really, really want to, and you're about to jump in with
so looking forward to seeing what these two are going to say. Anthony, what do you reckon?
I've finished.
What? Oh, have you not finished? Okay, sorry.
Finished.
Graphically, it's it was for the original Game Boy, so it's just the white on black, and it's just the basic screen.
Mm-hmm.
And the animation was quite poor, obviously, and the music, it was just classic, that tonal sound. But as soon as I started playing it again, everything came flooding back, and it was wonderful. So it was the nostalgia effect for me.
You're like a 13-year-old again, trying to get your brother's cartridge.
Yeah, it's good times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now then, Anthony, what do you reckon?
My brother actually had it on the Game Boy, so it was my brother's cartridge in my case. But I played it... I don't know when he bought it, though. I probably played it close to release as well. Can I just say I find it weird that they released it 2 years after they released it in Japan?
Yeah, it's something to do with the translation.
Yeah, it's just... 2 years is a really long time.
They changed nearly all the names of Pokemon into English.
Because when they made it, it was the little box where text comes up. They only had a certain amount of character space
for the Japanese
to do
characters.
it for the Japanese thing. And so this was not just when you play it on the Game Boy. Sometimes you have to scroll through text bits. There was only a free screen, so it took them ages to try and translate it so it made any sense. There's a lot of times where they just couldn't fit stuff in. That's why a lot of the people you talk to just say random stuff like, I have red shoes on, and stuff like that, because they couldn't fit anything in for them to say.
Is that why? That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Anyways, and what did you... sorry, what was your point you were making?
Oh, no, I was just telling you a bit about my history with the game. Because I played it through my brother again. He was the one with the Mega Drive as well, so I think most of my early gaming
Did you just have rocks when you were growing up?
Yeah, I had a pet rock. Not one of those ones you buy, though. I had a pet rock I got from the garden.
Did you catch it in the wild when you were on a quest?
I was walking around some tall grass, and I stumbled over it, literally stumbled over it, just tripped up. And from then on, it was my pet rock.
Well, interesting.
Tried to teach it some moves, and it just didn't take.
Kind of related. The creator of the game, he came up with the idea when he used to think of him as a kid capturing bugs.
Yeah,
in his
insect
garden
catching.
And sharing them with his friends and passing bugs between each other. He thought, I wish I could do this electronically.
That's
Pokemon.
That's probably how most game designers come up with their ideas, but it reminds me a lot of Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Because he's always in his garden, he was in his garden...
Just measuring stuff.
And he made up... came up with the idea for Pikmin, because he was in his garden, I don't know, looking at tiny creatures carrying off his biscuit.
When he thought Mario was fixing a toilet. True story. That's not true story.
Apparently that was a guy in their warehouse called Mario with a mustache or something, and he was the basis for the character.
That's actually true, I mean.
They can't confirm that. That's the problem. I've read that, though. That he was the... If that guy's alive and he is actually the inspiration for Mario, he must be...
The biggest Italian
Loving
stereotype going. Does he go around going, Mamma Mia, all the time and stuff, and things like that?
Well, I'm wondering if he's pissed off he doesn't get royalties.
That's true. Yeah, he probably could sue him.
It's not like Pokemon.
Turns up to
though.
court in a little red hat and his little dungarees. It's like, this is ridiculous. Give me a star.
But Anthony, did you enjoy playing Pokemon?
I did. The first thing I noticed, and that really kind of... I wouldn't have thought about this when I first played it, originally. But just playing it, I was looking at it from a retrograde standpoint. I noticed that this kid, who you start out in his bedroom, he has a TV and a SNES just sitting in the middle of his room. Mm-hmm. There's not even a power cable. Why is it... He's got a desk in the top left corner of his room. Why isn't the TV and the SNES on that? He's just sitting in the middle. Like, he's going to trip over that or something.
I was surprised, and I thought it happened in every game, but Pokemon Red, your mum doesn't actually say anything to you. You just walk off.
What? Yeah.
Unless the version I played, I just walked out of the house. No, she didn't say anything to me. I just
Oh, you
walked
mean
out.
she doesn't have to say anything to you?
Yeah, you can talk to her.
No, later on in the game, she heals your Pokemon for you. So at the very first instance, she won't talk to you because you haven't got any Pokemon for her to heal.
In the other games, she'll normally either wake you up or as you walk out of your house, she goes, "Don't leave without saying goodbye," or something like that. But in this one, I just walked out. She was just sitting there at the table, didn't say anything, and I just ran off into the woods.
I spoke to her and she said, every boy has to leave at some point or something. I'm like, well,
Yeah, it's a bit harsh, isn't it?
how old am I that I'm allowed to leave the house at this point?
You're 10. Ash is 10.
Yeah, I'm leaving the house on a world adventure at 10 years old. My mother's fine with that. No. And she lets me keep my SNES and my TV in the middle of the room.
If you turn the TV on, he says there's a film on, there's 4 boys walking down a railway track. Anyone know what film that is?
No, I know that one.
Do you guys know what film that is?
I read it this morning.
Yeah, I read about it, but I forgot what the film was.
Stand By Me.
Stand by me.
What is that?
Joaquin Phoenix, Mouse from the Goonies.
Stephen King book about 4 boys who go on a journey to try and find the body of a boy called Ray Brower or something.
Oh.
And they walk down the train tracks because they know he was hit by a train.
Spoilers? Are you going to do spoilers?
There's nothing spoilerish. No, we won't. I won't do spoiler. But I'm just trying to think. It's not really much of a spoiler film.
Why are they referencing that in Pokemon?
No,
Because
I guess
it's 4 10-year-old boys going off on a journey. Ash is a 10-year-old
Yeah, I
boy
guess
going
there's
off on a
similarities.
journey.
But it's
they go on an adventure.
It's a Stephen King film, right? It's going to be horrific in some way.
Yeah, that's true. But Pokemon's pretty horrific in ways as well. Morally, we'll get into that later. Morally horrific.
I've got some stern things to say about that.
But you enjoyed playing the game though.
Yeah, I mean,
Again.
it was. It's pretty fun going back and playing these games from a different standpoint and seeing things that you wouldn't have seen when you were 13.
Okay. What about you, James?
It's kind of, this one's different for me because with the other two, I was either too young to have played them when they originally came out, or I just hadn't. But this one, I definitely did play, like, when it was massive. Like, I think my generation, maybe even more than your generation, because, like, we're different ages. We're totally affected by this growing up. Like, you couldn't go out into the playground without being bombarded by, like, 10,000 screaming children just carrying Pokemon cards asking if you wanted to trade. No, I don't want to trade. And so...
I've got a shiny Charizard.
I did have a shiny Charizard. I got one. That was the best day of my life.
Oh,
That's why you didn't want to trade.
I still, actually, I think my sister stole it because we had an argument. I don't know what she did with it, but I was like adamant when I got that I would save it for 10 years and then sell it and be a millionaire. It hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened yet. Have you still got it?
Somewhere. I think I need to ask her. But
She probably sold it for £1 million.
Maybe that's why I never see her anymore.
Yeah.
In her mansion. Pokemansion. But so my point is that my perception of the game is coloured by nostalgia because I did play it when I was young. Having said that, I love sort of the game as a concept, but I think that when I actually play it, it's kind of a chore. Like when don't do a little victory Jack is actually dancing here.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm glad you said that.
I think that when I'm walking through the Pokemon fields and stuff, and I'm in the grass, I'm like, please, for the love of God, don't attack me, Pokemon. I'm just trying to get through here. And when there's like a corridor with 3 guys like looking in the different directions, I'm just like, oh my God, how can I avoid this? I don't want a Pokemon today. I just want to get where I'm going. I want to catch Pokemon. I want to make them nice and happy. I want to give them rare candy, make them level up. I want to give them funny names like Squirtle, but I don't... Wait, is that... Oh, no, he's already called
Squirtle's
Squirtle.
already a thing.
Bulbasaur, then. And I want to just have Pokemon friends in the game, but I don't want to fight. I don't want this strife in my life. And I think
you're a lover, not a fighter.
Pretty much, yeah. That's quite
More
an
like
description.
Pokemotional. over here, right, guys?
Oh God, you've got loads of them, haven't you, Anthony?
I'm thinking about on the spot.
Saying about you just naming your Pokemon, I just remember there was a thing in the later ones where you could obviously link up and multiplayer battle people. A lot of people used to name their Pokemon other names of Pokemon. So they would name their Squirtle like Charizard. So when it says so-and-so is about to use Charizard, they'd go, oh, it's a fire one. I'll bring out my water. And then suddenly out comes Squirtle. And they go, oh, goddamn!
Doesn't it show you a picture? Or...
That was like a ploy. You have to like bluff your name of your Pokemons.
That's amazing.
I know. But you enjoyed it overall, though, James. You enjoyed going back and playing it nostalgia-wise, I guess.
Did I? No, I don't think
not really.
I did.
You kind of enjoyed elements, you kind of said.
I think that, again, sort of when I think about Pokemon, it's like, yeah, great. I love the music, by the way. We need to talk about that later. I think the art style is actually quite impressive. But the game, no, I don't enjoy it. It's a chore. It's like Final Fantasy for me. I enjoy everything that isn't the game. But when it comes to actually playing it, I just... Menu, fight one.
You like the mythology?
Not even just the mythology. I like the meta game. I like the game beyond the game. I like the whole culture surrounding Pokemon. Like, in terms of just... The children would talk about it endlessly, you know? Yeah. But I think that as a game, it's kind of weak.
I think it has aged horrifically bad. I thought... I was playing it, and it was like torture. So anyone who's been tortured, you'll know the experience of playing this game for me.
Wow.
It was horrible, absolutely awful, and to the point where I went, I cannot stand playing this. I could not bear it, and I'm going to go into my rant, which you're all going to want to jump in and go nuts over. I'm going to break it down for 2 reasons. Break it down for you. It's 2 reasons why I didn't like it. First one, sequels. All of the sequels. Do you know how many Pokemon games they've done? All of the Pokemon games together. How many do you reckon there've been?
12.
In 16 years.
12.
It's been 32 or something stupid.
There's
like 2 a year?
42
Jesus
games
Christ.
of Pokemon. And that includes Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Ring. I mean, I've got the whole list here, and I won't even bother reading them because...
We haven't got enough time.
We haven't got enough time. But even just looking at it, I mean, you've got Battle Revolution, Ranch, Rumble, Ruby and Sapphire, Puzzle League, Snap, Pikachu, Red, Blue, Green, Yellow, Orange, Black, Brown, Indigo, Violet, and all that. And it just... a thing. And the reason I'm saying sequels is the fact that over 16 years... Game Freaks, who make these games, are a fantastic developer. They made a game in 2004 called Drill Dozer that I've got on the Game Boy Advance, and it's brilliant. And that's the only game they've made in the last 16 years since they started making Pokemon. And what I don't like is that they have not changed enough in the game to make Red and Blue worth going back for nostalgia. If someone said to me, I'm going to play Pokemon, I'd say, oh, which one are you going to play? You're going to go play Black and White probably. No, I'll play Red and Blue. I'd say, why bother when the game has been updated to newer versions, and they don't change enough. That's the problem. They change little bits, they tweak it a little bit, they'll add some stuff that makes it better. But that's the first thing. So
can I just draw a parallel for you there?
Go on then.
Super Mario Kart hasn't really changed since the SNES. They've changed weapons, changed characters, made the graphics a lot better, but at the end of the day, it's exactly the same game.
Well,
so
I would
Pokemon,
agree with you.
That argument, I've just completely refuted that. So
No. You're
I
right.
win.
You're right. But then we get on to my second point I was going to make about it, is the fact that the game hasn't aged in its gameplay either. And it treats gamers today, almost, I'd say insultingly, by grinding. And all the game does, as James says, is grind. To the point where it will tease you with grinding, where there'll be a bit where there'll be grass or a trainer, so you're either got to go, I've got to face this trainer and fight him, or I've got to go through the grass. And there's bits, when you go into a cave, you just get constantly grinding.
Yeah, no, the caves are really, really irritating.
And what really annoys me about it is the fact that grinding can be good in games. Grinding's not always a bad thing, as long as there's 2 things grinding needs to be. It shouldn't be forced. That's the first thing about grinding. It should be something that you want to do for an optional or rewarding. And Pokemon doesn't do that. It forces you to go through. And the reason they do that is to make it approachable for casual and hardcore. If you're a hardcore gamer playing this, it doesn't matter. There is no... Get ready for this. There is no skill needed to play Pokemon.
No, there isn't at all.
I could literally hold down the up button and just hold down A. So when a battle starts, keep hitting A. Keep hitting A. If you die, you go to the Pokemon Center. You walk back through again. Keep hitting A. Keep hitting A.
Would you consider strategy to be skill?
I mean...
Because
it needs a knowledge, I guess. You need a knowledge of it, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if you're like, I haven't really played much multiplayer Pokemon, but I'd imagine if you're playing someone who knows their shit, you're gonna have to actually strategize and actually choose which stuff to use.
I
and
think
when
the real
properly.
skill and
Yeah.
longevity comes in with multiplayer.
Yeah.
But Jack's talking about single player, needing no skill.
No, but even then, like when you're going up to the different gyms and each gym leader has its own strength, you do then have to equip and train up the right Pokemon so that you can defeat that gym leader quite easily. So there is some element of strategy.
I've got here, and
but
I'll-
you're right. You don't need any skill. There's no timing to worry about. There's no weapons to use. You know, there's none of that type of skill.
And it was just, I guess maybe back in the day, it was nice to see which Pokemon you're going to face when you're going through. It's like, oh, it's a new Pokemon. But playing it now, there's like 30 Weedles in a row, and then 30 Pidgeys. And I was like, oh, a wild Pidgey appeared, and I'm like, oh, this is so
You can buy repels.
boring.
Yeah.
But that's another thing of the game. That shows how the game knew, we know we're being annoying by doing this mechanic. Here, have a repel. This will stop creatures attacking you. And it just boggles my mind. And there's a bit like James is saying, where there'll be a bit where you'll walk through a path, and there'll be 4 trainers all looking in different directions, some of them turning on the spot so they make sure they catch you.
Yeah.
And you're just forced into gameplay with them, which makes sense because obviously you've got to level your Pokemon up. And I was going to say, just talking about skill, and I've got a diagram here, boom, I'll put it in the show notes. It basically just shows each class of Pokemon against each other class and who's the strongest things. If you've got that diagram, you're a Pokemon master. There is no other skill level. That's all you need to do. And the thing is, some of them don't even make sense. Like fire against grass is super effective.
Hello. What's a bonfire made of?
then-
Is it made of wood
Hold
and then
on.
it's set on fire?
Fire against grass is 200% effective. Water against fire is only 50% effective.
Yeah, because Charizard is amazing.
But it doesn't make, and then ground.
Flawless
How
logic.
are you not understanding
Ground
this
is 200% effective against which? Okay, let's say so. You got a ground Pokemon. What
Yeah.
class would a ground Pokemon be a super effective?
Well, the
against?
sky
It's
birds,
so-
obviously, right?
game? No, it has no effect on them.
Really?
Not-
Yeah, because they're birds. They're flying.
Well, if a
no,
pigeon
they
flies
do.
into
They do
the
ground.
pavement.
You know, this is why you have to think. That's why you have to think.
That makes
yeah?
sense. If a pigeon flies into a rock with arms, like that one guy who's a rock with arms.
But no,
Geodude.
because
Yeah.
the ground attacks all require the ground to be used in some way, and the birds are flying, and so therefore it will have no effect. It's water.
No effect on the sky bird.
Ground is super effective against fire, electricity, poison, and rock.
Ground is effective
Why?
against rock.
Yes.
They're two different things.
Why? Exactly. I know.
Because I meant you ground electricity, right?
And this,
But I don't get the fire.
But
one.
don't forget,
This
we
was
do
my whole
also
problem
have
with
a ghost class. We also have a psychic class. Okay, so you
And a
you
dragon
do
class.
have to have some. You're not meant to take it literally.
I need to look at this diagram.
and so that was my problem. I found it, and I'm going to get even further. And I think Anthony's going to get me so happy that I say this. Last week, you said you didn't like Gunstar Heroes because you found it mindless and repetitive. Pokemon Red and
Oh,
Blue
snap, here
is
it
probably
comes.
the most mindless, repetitive game I've played in a long time.
But it has. I would know because I knew someone would bring up this argument against me. I knew someone would.
Getting it up for you.
Yeah, you are. It's alright. I can hold my own though. But what the difference is that Pokemon actually has a plot line and a story. We spent a long time discussing the story of Gunstar Heroes and how it was quite weak. So
Lack
weak that-
thereof.
So weak that it could be completely rewritten without having to change the game at all. And Pokemon has more endearing characters than Gunstar Heroes because they've actually got qualities to them apart from a colour. And so that for me makes it more entertaining. Yes, it's very repetitive, and you are just travelling along this path, get some Pokemon, go to the town, fight the gym leader, go get some more Pokemon, fight the next gym leader. It is like that. And it is repetitive, but it's got a story, and the characters are a lot better.
I think that's
Boom!
I think that's typical of most JRPGs. Actually, to tie into Jack's point about grinding, I think that the JRPG sort of mode of operation is just to take a game that should be 5-10 hours, then put stuff in there to make it 50-60 hours for no reason other than to let the plot, the story sort of flow freely. And I think that people forgive that because they want to see what happens to the characters. They want to find what happens in the story.
And you want your Pokemon to level up because you want them to evolve and turn into awesome things like Charizard.
Because they're your friends.
Yeah.
I did make a note about this here. It's on this general topic. I wrote, the battle system is a little tedious. As I was playing it, I realised that, especially at the start,
Yeah.
just press and tackle not constantly. But it's the collecting and leveling that keeps you coming back.
I did. Maybe this is also why I maybe ruined the experience for me. The first hour of any Pokemon game I ever play, I'll just walk through the grass for an hour. So my Pokemon
Why?
levels, because then I'll grab I'll just grab my first 3 Pokemon in the grass, and and then those 3, I'll level them up for the first hour in the grass, and that's it. I can beat the game then. I can just keep walking, and anyone I challenge after that, I'll go to gym leaders who are like, I'm going to take you on, I'm the best gym leader in the area. Gets out at like a level 6 Pidgey. I'm like, I'm going to whoop this guy.
Jack, that's like taking a chocolate cake and saying, now the first thing I do before I eat my chocolate cake is throw it on the ground. I don't like chocolate cake very much, but I've got a system. Why would you do that? That is why.
Because I approach a game to win.
Do you feel like you've won Pokemon by doing that?
Yeah, I whooped it.
Did you beat the Elite Four?
Easy. Because I'd leveled up so early on.
So what were your final 6? Who did you have?
I had 4 Pokemon named after you 3 and me. That's quite nice.
Wait, which ones were we?
I had a Hardon, or a Harden, or whatever his name is. I had a
That's not a Pokemon.
Was it a Hardon? No,
Hardon? I'm pretty sure that's
the one Geodude.
No. Oh, I did have a Geodude. I had a Rock Guy. I had a Pidgey. I had Charizard.
Wait, so did you let them evolve?
Yeah. And I had, is it Metapod or something that keeps using Harden?
Yeah.
I didn't. And that was it.
You just kept it as a Metapod.
Pretty much.
Why
I
didn't you let him evolve into a Beedrill?
can't remember what he evolved into. I think it was a Beedrill, yeah. I to be honest, I didn't, like, oh, so-and-so's evolving. Is he? I don't care. Let's just keep going. Come on, let's just keep walking. Ugh. And I was just going through the motions.
Oh my god, you totally played the game completely wrong. That's why you didn't like it. You didn't play it right.
The worst part that I've ever seen in a game is when you go into a cave. And it purposely wants you to get lost. It doesn't tell you where you're going. So you're just walking around, getting attacked by so many Zubats. It's unbelievable.
Well, that was Pokemon's approach to dungeons, wasn't it? I mean, dungeons are really common in JRPGs, and they're kind of... There's always a boss at the end, but they're kind of... You have no idea where you're going. And it's quite a grind. Which is the whole approach, as you've said. But
a fairly accurate cave experience, I think.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. There wouldn't be signs in a cave.
The Pokemon are so cute. Most of them.
Wait, hang on a second. We're missing an important point here.
Go on.
I wasn't your Pidgey, was I?
You were my...
Hard-on.
you were my rock guy, Geodude.
Yes!
With 2 arms like
Who
this.
was I?
I was hoping...
Constantly, because you've constantly... when I think of you with no legs and 2 arms in the air for some reason.
Me too.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I try to go for that. Even though I've got legs and my arms are never in the air, I do try to go for that impression. I'm glad it came across that way.
Just go back to one of...
Who were the rest of it?
Yeah, who was the Pidgey?
You were Pidgey.
Oh,
brilliant.
dear.
Who was that?
And you were my Charizard.
Yes!
He was my lead boy. He was.
Your lead boy, Jack. Wow.
Everybody loves
So
James.
you had 4 Pokemon. Were you?
I
were
was
you
the
fourth
Metapod one. I was the one that was a little weedy seed thing.
The hard-on.
I was going to capture
You
a Weedle.
so did not defeat the Elite Four with those 4 Pokemon.
By the time I got to
What
them,
level were they?
I can't remember. I think they were like 65 or 7 or something like that.
Oh my god, you leveled up a Metapod to level 65.
Good fun.
You are so playing this game wrong.
I was just holding up an A the whole time. It's like, so-and-so learnt something. Do you want to learn a new move? Nah, I'm alright. Carry on.
Oh my
Do you want to
God.
forget Growl? Nah, it's alright. As long as I've got attack, I'm alright. That's all I need. Attack.
Oh my god, you played it so wrong.
Don't get me wrong, there is a level that you could you get out your first Pokemon and go, right, I'm going to poison him, bring him back in so he gets the experience, and then throw out someone else and he'll throw in like
Yeah, that's
a
how
net
you're
or
meant to
something.
play it.
What's the point when you can just keep pressing A?
No, but you
and
can't
attack?
just keep pressing it. What you can do is you can stay in the first little patch of grass for 2 hours and level up your Pokemon and then hate the entire game.
Exactly.
Or you can play it with some level of thought. Maybe. I don't know.
My point I was going to go back to earlier, though, what do you guys think about the fact that the sequels, and we've got to be honest, they haven't mixed up the game enough. In 16 years, compare, say, Mario 64 to Super Mario Galaxy 2, how much that changed in that time. Compare Pokemon Red and Blue to the latest ones, which is going to be Black and White 1 and 2. Okay, graphically a lot better, and there's a lot of little tweaks here and there and things you can do. Overall, though, it has not changed.
I gotta say, since Pokemon Red and Blue to the new ones have a lot more added in terms of background mechanics. Because if you try to get into Pokemon now, the brand new titles, jump in, and those are your first titles.
511 Pokemon, I think, now they've got.
Yeah, understanding...
Black and White, they reset the whole universe.
Oh.
They got rid of all the Pokemon and just brought in 150 brand new
Oh,
ones.
okay.
And that was it. And then once you could, because I have Pokemon Black, and then once you completed the whole thing, then you were able to access this extra area where all the old Pokemon were, and you could go and catch all of them as well.
So I can still have my
but,
Squirtle.
yeah.
Why not Pokemon White?
I don't know.
You don't know, or
No.
you prefer not to say on the air?
No, it was literally just, I thought, well, they've reset the whole universe, I'll give it a go. Googled Pokemon Black or Pokemon White. To be honest, I like the look of the packaging better on Pokemon Black. It was that
I-
superficial, my reason, because
Fair enough.
there's not a lot between them.
I've got to admit, I did get Fire Red or whatever it was called on Game Boy Advance. I loved it and played it. Sapphire.
Did you play it properly?
Played it properly that time. Sapphire, and I got Black. And when I got Black, I regretted it because by that point I was like, I've played the same game now 3 times, and I was bored. And that's
Super Mario Kart.
So I must admit, Super Mario Kart is skill.
Yeah, there's skill in Pokemon. It's just you refuse to use any skill.
I don't see why I would use skill when I can just be logical. It's like saying
Oh
it's like,
my god, that sentence does not even make sense.
yeah, no, it is. Like if I'm gonna
Jack, it's fine. You hate the game.
if there were
So let someone else talk about it.
if there are shortcuts in Mario Kart, I use the shortcuts. Why wouldn't I? And that's the same with Pokemon. If there's shortcuts, I'm going to use the shortcuts.
Spending an hour in the first forest is not a shortcut.
It's an exploit.
Just insane.
Well, it is.
It's not a
That's
shortcut.
just you being
If I can
foolish.
jump in on
Go on.
Jack's side here, because I like to think of this
Please
as
do.
2v2. 3v1's just not fair. When I play JRPG, not really Pokemon, but other JRPGs, I do spend more time than I should at the start leveling up because I want an easier ride for the rest of the game. But then again, in other JRPGs, the story's a bit more involved, so you're not just playing it for the collecting and the fighting. But I like to do that as well. I like to overlevel so that I can you know, breeze through it, rather than, you know, because if you hit a boss or something and you have to redo it 8 times, it's really frustrating.
Right.
I was
Gone.
going to ask, what did
Uh-oh.
everyone choose as their starting Pokemon? Obviously, I've gone on about Charizard. So
Squirtle.
I obviously chose Charmander.
Squirtle.
Really?
Anthony chose Squirtle.
Obviously
I think
Squirtle.
Squirtle's the worst one.
Well,
Oh, no, Bulbasaur's the worst one.
I chose Bulbasaur. He's the best one. He's
Oh
made
my
of
God.
grass. He's like a little. He's like a dinosaur. A little dancy grass man. What's wrong with him?
the reason I chose Squirtle is because if you watch I don't know if you guys know what tool-assisted speedruns are.
Yeah.
Basically, people go through,
Bit
figure
fishy
out
there, Jack.
figure out how the game works, and just completely destroy it to try and complete it as fast as they can. And they can do like instant resets and things to just cut out any mistakes they might make. And on the tool-assisted speedrun I watched of Pokemon Red or Blue, I can't remember which one, they chose Squirtle. I'm guessing they did that because he represented the best chance to win.
Or they all represent the best chance and they just chose arbitrarily.
Pretty sure they said the reason they chose Squirtle, I just can't remember it. But that's why I chose him, because he's technically the best.
I just walked up to the first one on the table and that'll do. Doesn't matter to me. Can you attack?
You're going to win with your Metapod anyway.
Jack, you're the most curmudgeonly Pokemaster I've ever met.
I do appreciate. I like the Pokemon. I did like the Pokemon games, but I've just played them so many times that I'm completely burnt out. And until they do something completely
That
different.
basically just invalidates
But, okay,
every
but-
single criticism you have of the game.
But this
Yeah.
If you just played them so much.
Well, okay. I guess the criticism is they haven't changed enough, and this is what I was going to get. Every year, people sang off like Modern Warfare for doing the same thing every year. Pokemon, though, is absolutely loved, and when a new game gets announced, everyone goes nuts. And I'm still like the only person that goes, "What's the point? We've done this so many times. What's new? Is
The
it going to
new
be in
Pokemon.
3D? No."
The new Pokemon.
I guess so, but there were times where they weren't like.
I mean, I hadn't played Pokemon since Red and Blue
I-
when I bought Pokemon Black last summer. So I hadn't played it for 16 years. And so I bought Pokemon Black last year and I was playing it, and thankfully I bought it in the summer holidays, and I lost 2 weeks of my summer holidays just playing Pokemon because it was amazing.
I put the Pokemon into 2 categories. There's what I call the Monday morning 9 o'clock Pokemon, and then there's a 4:30 on a Friday where you've got the artist has obviously come in and they've said, right, you've got a week to come up with 4 Pokemon. He's gone, no problem. On a Monday, he'll draw Charizard. He'll draw awesome ones like Growlithe, like proper Japanese manga. And then he gets to Friday and goes, oh god, I've got to do another 2. He goes,
Electrode.
Ditto, I'll just have a blob with eyes on it. And then Weedle's just a caterpillar. And like some of them are really. There's one, it's just a stick with balls for hands. I can't remember which one that is. It might
Do
not
you
be
mean
in
Mr. Mime?
It might not be in Red and Blue. No, it might be in Black, and he's just a stick. When you got to Black and White, some of them
Oh,
were so uncreative.
Yeah,
it was like,
Black
oh
and
my
White.
god.
Yeah, some of them are awful in that.
It's hard to come up with that many creatures. I mean, they had years to do it, but still, you might run the risk of doing a creature that's the same as the previous.
Red and Blue, I guess, isn't that bad. I was going to say another thing. Why do you think there are so many? Why do you think Pokemon is so not just popular, but there's so many memes and stuff being created Pokemon? Like it's still very popular for like jokes and comic sketches being made.
Because it was a huge part of our childhood. Like I said, and as James said, you couldn't go anywhere when we were little without Pokemon being rammed down your throats. Like South Park did that awesome Chin Pokemon episode,
Oh yeah.
which was just essentially ripping the, taking the mick out of the whole Pokemon craze and how kids were just going absolutely mental for it, and it was brilliant. And yeah, that's why it's still loved, is because we all loved it when we were little, and it's something that nearly everyone has in common, is that, yeah, everyone knows about Pokemon.
I think there's a lot of memes that have been created as well, because the game has a lot of... because the game hasn't aged over the years and they've not changed it. As time's gone on and people got older, they've started realising things and they start poking fun at things. For example, the whole thing about, like, Cut... how he'll like walk through and he'll fight a giant rock dragon, then he'll get to a twig on the floor and he can't get past it. He's like, I need to teach a Pokemon Cut. And the fact that Pokemon, it's all mechanics and it makes sense of it, but if you actually think about it as the game's advanced, like if you tried to do that on an Xbox 360 in 3D Skyrim, you're fighting a giant dragon, then you get to a twig and he's like, I can't get past this twig. It just really wouldn't work. You couldn't do it in one game, it wouldn't make any sense. No, the mechanics probably need to evolve, because like Charizard could have just burnt that down with his breath instead of having to teach Rattata Cut, for example. My favourite comic strip is one where a guy he's got this giant eagle creature and it can't fly because it forgot how to learn to fly, and then there's a guy up in the air flying on a Pidgey, and like Pidgey's tiny and he's just standing on his back with his arms in the air flying across the sea going, yeah.
So I suppose your criticism here would be that Pokemon is unrealistic then.
Well, let's jump.
Pocket Monsters is
it is unrealistic.
some realism.
It is logically flawed, a lot of the stuff in it. That's like, why is like my little tiny Squirtle can beat the crap out of this giant creature that's this thing. I want to jump on something because we are rushing through this. Morally and ethically, this game is hideous. It's about children capturing creatures, forcing them into a tiny little hole, not hole, but ball, and then forcing them to fight. Sometimes, to passing out.
Jesus.
And morally, that's horrific, and that teaches terrible morals to children. And what makes me laugh is when your trainer, when he runs out of Pokemon, I think the trainer should fight. He just passes out. He just fakes. He goes, "Oh, I'm
too stressful,"
and he just wakes up in a Pokemon Center. So, thank God I got out of that one. Let's go fight again. Sends all his Pokemon in again.
The trainer doesn't fight. All the Pokemon doesn't faint. Sorry, all the Pokemon are fainted. So you're not able to battle anymore. So you go back.
You black out.
He says you blacked out.
No, sorry, yeah.
So he'll spin on the spot and go, "Oh, I've run out of Pokemon. I better fake death."
No, in Pokemon Black, they actually addressed that moral issue that you were talking about. And the enemies you were fighting against, they weren't Team Rocket anymore. They were Team Plasma. And Team Plasma were fighting for all Pokemon to be released because what you were doing was cruel. I can't remember how they ended the story, but obviously they ended the story so that it was better for Pokemon to be captured, because if they did just say, all Pokemon should be released and no one should catch Pokemon anymore, then that's the franchise over. But they did address that issue. They did talk about it a lot.
They should have, I think, like a happiness gauge that if you don't keep your Pokemon happy, he runs away.
Like a Tamagotchi.
Like Sims.
Yeah, like if he's not happy, you've got not feed him I don't know, just got to do stuff with him, otherwise he runs off. But
I realised a long time ago that Pokemon is basically promoting dogfighting rings. Because the equivalent to a dogfighting ring is capturing these animals and making them fight for money or, fame. Like, the Elite Four got there because they fought these little monsters against each other.
Yeah.
Often brutally, making them pass out. They probably got bloodied up. And we think dogfighting is just horrendous. But the people in Pokemon world, they love it.
But there's a strange sort of code of honor to the dogfighting. Because, I mean, when you're... I'm not sure where it is. The big bad guy, Giovanni?
Yeah.
When you have to sneak into, like, the Team Rocket base, I forget where.
Yeah.
And there are these really shady sort of gangsters in there. They're like, oh yeah, let's battle Pokemon. And so you do it, and you beat them. And they're like, alright, okay then mate, well, fair enough. They don't pull out the handgun and shoot you in the skull for being in their territory. They just say, fine, you're obviously...
Well, as we've just discovered,
man.
That's because they faint as soon as they lose all their Pokemon.
Oh,
so they can't pull out their handgun. He's just leaving a trail of bodies. Luckily they'll wake up, but by that time he's long gone.
They have guns though, right?
Yeah, but they can't use them because they're unconscious.
But I mean... It just seems strange that they live in a world in which they just use Pokemon.
They go straight to Pokemon.
Solve their problem.
Yeah, you're trespassing. Let's fight Pokemon.
Instead of like political debates, they just fight Bulbasaur versus Squirrel. It's quite brilliant.
Yeah, I think that'd be a better way to do politics. Let's contact our local MP. Have you considered Pokemon, sir?
What did you guys choose for your names for your Pokemon? How did you name your Pokemon when you chose them?
I don't change my Pokemon's name.
I don't either.
I keep them how they are.
God,
you have the compulsive need to keep whatever character is, whether it's Link, whether it's Bulbasaur, just don't change it, just leave it as
The designer chose for a reason, Jack.
Right.
I always keep my... Oh, I'm going to regret asking you guys this, but you're the bad guy, you get such a name for some reason, because his grandfather goes, I've forgotten his name. What was his name again? It's a bit harsh, but I'm all right, Grandad. But I always called him Gary, and now I don't like anyone called Gary, because Gary's evil. But,
My dad's called Gary and my sister's fiance is called Gary.
I thought you said your sister's called Gary.
You're doing well.
No, but the bad guy was Gary in the show.
Yeah, in the TV show, yeah, he was.
Yeah, that wasn't an option in the game, was it, Gary?
Yeah, it was.
Gary
You could
was?
rename him, yeah, because I renamed mine.
I mean, it wasn't like a default option.
It came up on mine.
It has a list of suggestions.
It came up on mine, and this freaked me out a little bit. It said Ash, something else, and then Jack. I have no idea. Was that default name, or did everyone else? Was the only one got that?
Is it just you got that?
Yeah, I was really freaked out. I was like, why?
No, it is a thing. Everyone
Oh
did
god,
get
I
that.
really freaked out. I was like, how did it know my name? But yeah. What did you? And let's try to keep this game. What did you name your enemy? Because it's always a funny thing. It's a big ongoing joke.
Mine is an old-fashioned contraction for the name Richard. I called mine Dick.
Okay. Mine was always a penis. So it was always funny when Professor Oak said, "Oh, here comes penis." Oh, penis is a bit alert today and stuff like that.
Funny to you, maybe, Jack. I guess when you were playing Pokemon, you were young enough to find that funny, though.
I did. I found it funny now. It was my most enjoyable part of the game.
Because you were playing it wrong.
Was waiting for him to turn up and go, let's have a battle. Like, Penis wants to fight. That was awesome. But, yeah. You were saying earlier you didn't have many characters as well. I remember Pokemon Red and Blue had a lot more space.
I think it was 7 characters, wasn't it?
Yeah, like if your name's Christopher.
Yeah.
Like
Chris.
Anthony. Could you fit in Anthony? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you could.
Just.
Yeah, literally just.
Obviously, I didn't. I can't remember what I chose, though. I chose something funny at the time, but obviously not memorable enough.
Okay, Zan, you had a question.
Didn't you say it was Poop Liquor?
I thought it was, but that's more than 7 characters, so it can't have been Poop
Oh,
Liquor.
okay.
It was something to do with poop, I'm sure.
It's the pipe dream.
And you
Yeah.
kept yours as Gary, James?
Yeah, I felt bad for him because obviously, it's...
Grandfather can't even remember his name. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like, you guys know, like, the story about him and the fact that he's...
yeah.
Well, I forget, actually, did you research this?
I looked it up, and the story goes... Someone's written a theory that a lot of people went, that makes a lot of sense. That apparently, when Pokemon was based, there was a war that occurred just before Pokemon, and that's why a lot of the men are missing from the game. And whenever you see men, they're always either big fat guys for some reason, or old men in the game. You might see a few, like, fishermen and stuff like that, but even they look quite old. And that's apparently because there was a war that had just taken place before the game starts.
Also, there's at one point in, I think, one of the casinos or something, you turn on a TV and you can see, there's footage of the war or whatever on the news.
And the story kind of goes, your rival, who his grandfather is Professor Oak, and also that's why your dad's missing, because he's at war. Your rival's father passed away, and he left that and he wanted to get Pokemon to like train him up and to honour his father. Because there's a point where you fight him later on, and he says something that's really cryptic.
Yeah, you fight him on the ship, and he says something like, actually, no, I think you fight him on the ship, and he has a Rattata. And then later on, you fight him again, and he doesn't have the Pokemon anymore. He talks about like the fleeting nature of life or something strange. I forget what it is. Like.
And the Rattata planet was given to him by his father, and you apparently killed it when you fight it on the ship. So, but that was someone's backstory they've written, so it's not ever been confirmed, but it's interesting. And it also kind of picks up on another awesome urban legend about the Lavender song, suicide song that was originally Lavender Town Syndrome song. That was in the original Pokemon Green and Red, I think, in Japan. And they removed this song because rumour has it, I couldn't find any medical history of this, but kids were getting very depressed from hearing the song. They would be stuck in this graveyard for a couple of hours fighting Pokemon, and they'd hear this song playing that I'll be playing in the background now for all the listeners, people listening in to hear. And it would cause kids depression, and they had to check into hospitals and stuff, because it was freaking them out too much.
Are you going to be playing that song as we're having this conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's playing right now, James.
So right
Can you
now,
hear it?
there's the creepy, ethereal... Oh, okay.
That's why I'm talking like this, so it creeps people out a bit.
I feel somewhat...
And if you're under the age of like 16, there's a pitch in it that only
There's
people
a
under
good chance
16
you'll
can
kill
hear.
yourself.
Yeah, if you're under 16, don't get upset. I mean, but yeah, that's a bit freaky. That's a fun bit of Pokemon.
Yeah, well, I guess it was a part of kids' lifestyle so much that would have quite a impact. Even though there wasn't a medical reason for it, you listen to depressing music enough, you'll start to feel a bit.
And they did remove it for the American versions, released for no reason. They didn't ever give a reason why. So people made up these urban legends that kids were getting depressed, and they were like, yeah, I got depressed when I heard that song. So I don't know.
But then the whole point of music is to make you have a more emotional reaction to what's going on. So you're in a graveyard, you're going to be playing sad music. So, yeah.
I think they should have kept it in and made all the music depressing.
Yeah, I think if anything, it's a testament to the skill of the composer that he was able to compose a sad enough song to just make kids kill themselves. Like
It's a very uncomfortable piece of music.
yeah,
Like it doesn't
still playing.
Probably the rhythm is like depends how I feel. You guys actually had quite a lot of questions on this one. I was having a look. James, you asked me if there was anyone, if you could be any Pokemon, which Pokemon would you be and why?
You can't be Pikachu.
Why not?
Because everyone said it's like if you go up to see that guy. There's a window here. If you look at that window, Jack, turn around.
Okay. Are you going to do rude things behind me?
No, yeah. I didn't do anything. There's a guy out there. In fact, there are two people there. If you were to go up to them, I think, are they a couple? Yeah, their hands are getting suspiciously close. Anyway, if you were to go up to them and say, "All right, mate, look, listen, you don't know me, I don't know you. Let's get this over with. If you're a Pokemon, which would you be?" They'd both just say Pikachu instantly, because that is what your mind thinks of. Because he was like the main Pokemon in the TV series.
Just throw open the window, James, and let's find out.
Oi, you two! What Pokemon are you?
Pikachu, mate. Obviously. Why is he even bloody asking?
What Pokemon would you guys be and why?
I would be Snorlax because he enjoys to eat and sleep, much as I do.
Magikarp.
You actually look like Magikarp.
That's not the reason I suggested
Oh my
it.
god! I cannot believe you said Anthony looks like Magikarp.
No, Magikarp was awesome because he started out just completely useless. He could splash, he didn't do anything. But he has so much potential. For some reason, a fish evolves into this long sea dragon.
He becomes a sea dragon, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Is that right?
Gyarados.
Gyarados, yeah.
Gyarados.
Gyarados. Yeah.
Gyarados.
I would be Growlithe because he's a dog made of fire.
He does look awesome.
Yeah, and he's the most badass of all the Pokemon. Like, he's insane.
I
Magikarp.
would totally be Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is awesome. He can learn loads of moves. He is hardly hurt by any of the others. He's awesome because he can just put people to sleep and then just beat their bodies whilst they're asleep, and it's amazing. Seriously, you can just have Jigglypuff in your team and put him out first, send the Pokemon to sleep, beat everyone. It's brilliant. Jigglypuff for the win.
Yeah, like a skill involved in that one.
Says he, the non-skill master.
Just send out Jigglypuff and put one move, win the game. Voltorb. He was a funny one because it wasn't his whole job just to explode.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Voltorb and Electrode, they're really annoying.
Again, there's a great commentary of a guy going, "Go Voltorb," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm finally going to fight." Goes self-detonate, and Voltorb's like, "What?" It just explodes.
I like to think that Voltorb is quite incisive social and political commentary. I'm not going to say about what.
That might be a reference to Final Fantasy games. I just realised, because in Final Fantasy games there's usually a bomb enemy, and it comes out and basically all it does is explode. You have to kill it before it explodes. So maybe that's their reference to that.
When Voltorb did that, did you then lose that Pokemon? Did he disappear?
Yeah. Well,
Or you could use him. You could use him in the next time you fought.
Oh, no, yeah. He wasn't dead forever.
It wasn't a one-use Pokemon, right?
That's why because I never used him and used that move because I thought it was a one-use thing. That once he did it, he was gone.
No.
I just lost my Voltorb.
No, it's good because if he's on like 5% health, you can just be like, "Yeah, screw this. I'm taking you down with me, mate," and they both die.
If Pokemon existed in the real world, would we eat them?
Yes.
What Pokemon would taste fantastic?
Snorlax. He's big and meaty. I love him.
I reckon a Giraffavig would taste quite nice.
Giraffavig?
Was that in black and white again? Giraffavig.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can't eat a Pokemon whose name's a
in
palindrome.
I'd eat a Weedle as well.
You do a Weedle?
I could munch on a good bit of Weedle.
Yeah, it's an insect.
You've
It's a
gone
bug. I
wrong,
think
Jack.
a bug type. I feel like for you.
No.
Pidgey would be alright.
Pidgey would be alright. It's like a
Magikarp.
Yeah.
Same answer.
you love it.
Same answer to this question.
All your answers are going to be Magikarp.
You can eat him, or you can evolve him into a sea dragon. What's not to like?
Did you guys have any topics you'd like to raise?
Yes.
Go on.
Give me a second. First of all, I didn't like the lack of a level bar in this version. Every other game onwards, it shows you how close you are to leveling. In this game, you just have to guess.
Well, no, you can find it on the sub.
Oh, you're checking them? Yeah. It's just really
It
annoying.
takes a long time.
It's really annoying that isn't there. And there's
like
there's still a space for it. The space where they put the level bar in the new games, it's there in the first games. They just don't use it. My main topic was, I was talking to James about this. Pokemon only gets released on the main flagship titles only gets released on portable consoles. And I've always missed or lamented the fact that there isn't a fully fledged 3D full fat experience Pokemon on consoles. Mm-hmm. It's always top down, they change the graphics and things, but it's always top down 2D on the portables. Mm. I realized while I was thinking about this that the reason they probably do that is Nintendo doesn't want to give consumers any reason to not buy a portable and just go for the console version instead. Because, as you said at the start, sold so many copies. It's
210 million units so far.
Yeah,
worldwide.
That's a portable console seller. That's a title that people will buy a DS for.
Yeah.
And so I realised that's probably why they haven't made a full-fledged 3D console Pokemon game. As much as I'd enjoy it.
They've tried to kind of...
Oh my god, Pokemon in 3D on the Wii U would just be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll ever do it.
I don't think
it needs to happen.
They know what they're doing. Definitely, the guys Game Freaks. They know they can get this out and keep milking it, and people love it.
Yeah,
I don't blame them for it. Do you guys not find? And I was thinking about this again, back to Modern Warfare, but people complain about DLC and on-disc DLC. I think it's incredibly cheeky that they will release Blue and Red, and then a year later release a version that combines the Pokemon, both of them in the same game. So, for example, I think they did Blue and Red. They did Blue and Red, and they did. I think it was yellow, but it might have been green in the UK. They did it for Black and White. I think after like Ruby and Sapphire, they released Platinum, which just combines the two games together.
Oh.
I think a lot of people go, "Oh, it's awesome how they do Blue and Red because then you can share the Pokemon that you couldn't get with your friends." I think that's rubbish. And then people complain about, "Oh, the game's not content complete." Nowadays, it's like, but Pokemon have been doing it for 16 years and no one kicked up a fuss. Do you think it's a bit of a cheap marketing ploy, or is it very clever?
Well, since they were doing it from...
I said at the beginning, I thought it was a marketing thing. It's a clever tactic. It works. They sell more games. Fair play.
Most of the complaints with DLC, I think, come up because people don't expect it. They've got games that have this content, and then the next one that comes out, they take some of it out for DLC, or that's what people think they've done. But with Pokemon, they've been doing this from the start, so it's sort of accepted just as the way they make Pokemon. Plus, I think the amount people play multiplayer on Pokemon games these days, because it's completely huge, no one's going to mind the trading aspect, because they like that part. They're always playing multiplayer anyway, so trading has just naturally come to the table.
I think that absolutely every single aspect of the Pokemon brand is pretty intelligently geared at getting kids to pester their parents to buy more things for them. Like in every single way, not just for the extra games, but the fact that Pokemon cards come in tiny little, really expensive packs of 11, 9? I don't know.
I never got into Pokemon cards.
The plushy toys that you can get online, just the DVDs of the cartoon and stuff. I think just absolutely everything about it is meant to sell to kids, and it works. So I think it's pretty genius.
Well, yeah, and it has been working for the past 16 years. That's how successful it's been.
16 films of Pokemon. 16 films. Mm-hmm. 43 sequels.
The TV show's still going.
TV show's still going?
Yeah, TV show's still a thing.
Is it still got the original characters? Like Ash still in it?
Yes, he's grown up a little bit.
Oh.
And he's got different clothes now.
On Reddit, there are 27 subreddits for Pokemon themed stuff. 27. And they're all active. Our Pokemon's got 80,000 readers. It's one of the biggest subreddits. Still huge. When they released Red and Blue, I thought this was quite interesting. They were nervous about it not doing well in America. Those American kids wouldn't. So they put $50 million of marketing into it, along with cards and TV shows and stuff like that, to really... So it certainly wasn't a lucky thing, because they put loads of money behind marketing it. I mean, they really pushed Pokemon when it came out. And, well, it worked, because we're still talking about it 16 years later.
Yeah.
Well done.
Talking of... we kind of touched on fanaticism there with the subreddits and things. One of my favourite videos on YouTube of all time is... In some of the later Pokemon games, up until now, you get the shiny versions of existing Pokemon. And they're special. They look slightly different. They've got a different colour scheme. And they're extremely rare to come across. But there are people on YouTube who film themselves going through encounters, counting how many encounters they've done, trying to find shiny Pokemon. And there is a video, I'll make sure it gets in the show notes,
I will,
of this kid, and he's managed to capture himself on camera catching a shiny Ponyta.
Oh, I've seen that one, yeah.
What, does he go nuts or something?
It's incredible. He's got 3 or 4, maybe 2, I don't know, Game Boys going at once. Right? So he's playing 3 or 4 copies of the game at once, doing the same thing on all of them with 2 hands, listening to Sum 41 in the background. And when he comes across, he's only trying to catch this shiny Ponyta, nothing else on his mind, right? When he comes across his shiny Ponyta, he goes mental on camera. And it's an amazing video. I really wanted to share it with the listeners, so I'm going to put that in the show notes.
Anthony's trying to steal my bit here by doing links for YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stepping on my toes there, Anthony.
Obviously, Lazan's the only one that uses YouTube.
Anyway,
Rebuttal.
I also have a link for YouTube, which is a video called The Birds and the Bee Drills, which is an hilarious song.
It's a bit cheeky.
It is, yeah, it's a bit of innuendo,
Bit naughty.
but it's a bloke writing a song about why his girlfriend left him, but he uses all 151
Oh, right,
Pokemon to tell the story, and he uses the Pokemon as innuendo for other things. And yes,
It's surprising how
absolutely
many
hilarious.
innuendo there are for Pokemon, how many innuendo names there are.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Some of them are completely inspired and you never thought of. So give that a listen because that's really good.
Yeah, no, I
and don't
listened to
steal my bit, Anthony.
I don't have a YouTube video, but I'm going to find one. I'm going to email it to you, and
No,
you're
you
going to
start
put it
as
in the show
well.
notes.
This isn't a thing that we all put in.
Oh, yes.
We need to quickly talk about the music in the game. We haven't covered that, actually. What do you think
He
of the
talks
music?
about the death music.
Well, it's horrible. It goes...
I like it. I think it's a nice tune.
Whenever you release a Pokemon, it goes, you release Charizard. Why they couldn't have done a noise, but instead it goes... And it's horrible. It's like out comes Pokemon. And some of the music, like the theme tune...
What?
Wait,
That was Zelda!
That was Zelda. What was the Pokemon theme tune? It was really good. And some of the battle music was really good. And even like the casually walking through the forest bits sort of sounds good. But the Pokemon sound effects are terrible.
Well, they had to keep them short, and, it's just a growl, isn't it? Because
It's
they can't
not
do...
great. It's horrible. If you're listening in headphones, it's like, what is this noise?
I think
They are quite
think
harsh.
that was largely due to compression, because I mean they really were struggling in terms of like size on the actual cartridge, which obviously led to the the missing no Pokemon thing.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, my brother told me about it.
Which was really eerie as well. So I think the
weird
fact,
stuff in this game.
yeah, I know, right?
It's awesome.
Does every Pokemon make a different growl sound?
No.
No.
And they've kept the same death sound for all the games because it became too
Really?
famous.
Iconic.
Yeah. So even in black and white, where they've got the processing power, the Pokemon will still go when it dies.
And when you put your Pokemon into the Pokemon Center to be healed, it still goes du 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 du. It's that little tune all the time. It's great.
Yeah. Okay, but that would the game be better if your Pokemon actually died?
No.
I think
That would
no.
be awful.
In things like MMOs, you get like permadeath if you go on hardcore mode. You get different servers where if you die, you just die for good to start a new character. And I reckon that doing that with Pokemon might be not a bad idea if you're really into that sort of thing. Because you could die, you have to go and capture new ones, train them up. Be quite interesting
be
approach.
interesting. Yeah, it would be an interesting
Just as an
approach.
option, not obviously mandated, but
Be quite upsetting.
I think they'd have to
Traumatized
increase
kids.
the rating for the game if the Pokemon actually died, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So they're never going to do that because they need
Yeah.
to sell it to the 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Always sell it to the 5-year-olds.
Well, we're wrapping up on the show. Sadly, we better get around to the retrograding part of the show, which I think I know how I'm going to vote. But Lizanne, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah. So we are doing our own types of grading for each game that we're doing. And I chose
because we screwed it up so much last week.
Yes.
Would be the reason.
Yes.
We couldn't agree on a system.
Yeah.
Most because of Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah.
God.
It was
There's
mostly
hieroglyphics.
you. Yeah, don't look at me like that. It was mostly you.
And my inability to count down from 10.
you couldn't count from
obviously,
10.
yeah.
Which was,
So we've decided to come up with our own unique grading system for each game, and as I chose Pokemon, I came up with the grading system for this one. So this week's grading system, and I've got it written down in front of me so I can count down again, is you need to mark Pokemon Red and Blue on a scale of Magikarp to Mewtwo. Okay, so hang on, I've picked out some Pokemon.
Because Magikarp
yeah,
is
Magikarp's
lame.
rubbish, Anthony. That's
why, because he's rubbish. He doesn't
He
do
is
anything.
renowned as the worst Pokemon.
okay.
Anyway, so the scale goes: Magikarp is 1, Metapod is 2, Oddish is 3, Rattata is 4, Eevee is 5, Jigglypuff is 6, Pikachu is 7, Alakazam is 8, Charizard is 9, and Mewtwo is 10. And I caught Mewtwo, by the way. Did you guys get Mewtwo?
I did not know he was in the game.
What?
What?
When you go to the Pokemon lab and you talk to people and they're all like,
Oh no, sorry, I was thinking of the one that's meant to be under the truck.
Oh,
Mew.
Yeah.
He was a special trading only bonus.
So that's the scale. You're marking Pokemon on a scale
Very-
of
very quickly.
Magikarp to Mewtwo.
Mew was the first ever Pokemon that was trademarked, and the application was submitted on May the 9th, 1990. So like 6 years before the game even came out. And now, since then, all the Pokemon names have been trademarked. So you can't use them in any other form. Like Mew, you can't make a film called Mew because they trademarked
Can you mention them on podcasts?
it. No, I'm going to have to bleep it out later. So it sounds like we're going to be swearing a hell of a lot. Can I actually just pick my own Pokemon?
Pick your own Pokemon, your own number.
Well, I was just going to go for Slowpoke, which was my nickname in high school. But Slowpoke. No, Slowpoke, because he's rubbish.
Why
and
do you
this
always end
game,
the show like this, Jack?
And this
Why do you
game
always let
hasn't
us end
aged
it in?
well, and that's why. If I was to compare this game to a Pokemon, it'd be Slowpoke because he's old, slow, and he needs to
I love
grow
it how
up a
the
little
idea
bit.
was for us to come up with our own grading system, and I've come up with one. And
Because
you've
you
just
didn't
completely taken it
you
on
didn't
your
pick a
own.
Pokemon lame enough to match this game.
Magikarp.
It's not as bad as Magikarp though. Magikarp's pathetic.
Yeah, well, okay, so Metapod.
What was number 2? Metapod. Oh, Metapod's quite cool. He goes.
Metapod's rubbish. All he
he
does
uses
is Harden.
Some people just want that. Then
Jack beat the game with Harden.
I beat the game by just getting Harden all the time. That was it.
A level 65 Metapod, he just used Harden non-stop.
Absolutely, no
beat-
one could touch me when I was.
Somehow beat...
Guys, have you noticed that the things you're saying could be taken as though you were talking about penises? Have you thought about
hold on,
that?
wait.
What? James is right.
What?
Guys, this is a coincidence.
Oh my
wow.
Thanos, that's terrible. Oh my god.
That does not make any sense, Jack.
Right, anyway, so Jack is
Alright,
ranking
2.
Pokemon Red and Blue a Metapod,
A
which
Metapod.
is a 2.
Even though it's not
okay?
bad Pokemon, but 2.
Anthony, there's my
Metapod.
wonderful diagram for you. What are you grading this game as?
From a modern perspective, I give it a 6. And I'm giving that 6 the Pokemon Magikarp, because Magikarp is awesome.
Oh, stop ruining... Right, we're going to have to do another grading system.
He
because this
shouldn't
one
be
isn't
number
working.
1.
Anyway, a 6 is a Jigglypuff. So Anthony is giving Pokemon Red and Blue a Jigglypuff.
What
Magikarp.
is 5? Okay, wait, hold on. 5 is Eevee, 4 is Rattata, 8 is Alakazam, 10 is Mewtwo. Therefore, I'm giving it a 7, Pikachu.
You're giving it a Pikachu.
If that's a 7, then
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, excellent. So yeah.
What did you give it? Sorry.
Oh, I'd give it a Charizard easily, which is a 9.
So overall, my Metapod, Pikachu, your
Jigglypuff,
Jigglypuff,
and
your thing.
Charizard.
So it
Magikarp.
averages out to what, like a Jigglypuff?
Well, no, I need to give it, actually, I'm giving it a Jigglypuff because I gave the other 2 games 7s, so, yeah. Jigglypuff.
Of the 3 games
just-
we've done so far, where would you? I know you probably rated one as the top. I rated it as the lowest. Where would you 2 rate it against Super Mario Kart and Gunstars? Just out of interest.
I would probably do Super Mario Kart, then Pokemon,
Oh,
then
sorry, of course,
Gunstar Heroes.
actually, yeah. Okay.
Super Mario Kart, Pokemon, Gunstar Heroes.
Obviously, you're going to say Gunstar at the top, Anthony.
Yeah,
You love
Pokemon's
that
probably
game.
last. Super Mario
Okay.
Kart in the
What about
middle.
you, James?
I'd probably do Mario Kart, Pokemon, Gunstar.
Okay. Well, there we go. That was Pokemon Red and Blue. Yeah, I wasn't happy with that game. That was a rubbish game, that was. Got to catch... Oh, the slogan, got to catch them all. They don't use that anymore.
No.
Yeah, no.
They got rid of it. I didn't know
I
that.
wasn't aware it was in the games in the first place. I thought it was specific.
No, it was
to
on the
Maybe
covers
you
as
just
the first
don't
2.
have to catch them all anymore. Maybe we've been released from that obligation.
Well, we'll wrap up the show there. Just a reminder again to visit our sponsors over at videogirls.com. That's VIDYAGIRLS.com. Wow, that's quite tricky for me to spell that one. Head on over
it's
there.
written down in front of
I know,
you.
I still struggle.
Just got to read out the letters.
Head on over to there 'cause it's a fantastic website. They've got some great video posts up there. They've got a review of Diablo 3, and they're also going through reviewing all the Pokemon games, which would be quite interesting to actually
Wow.
see. Because I guess if you put all the Pokemon games, do you guys? Well, we ain't got time. Don't worry. But I was gonna say the most recent ones are always the best Pokemon games.
I think Pokemon Snap was the best Pokemon. That was not a joke. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh
it's
at
true.
me.
It's true. No, it's a great thing.
It's
Wii U
fantastic.
would be great for Pokemon
Yeah,
Snap.
but-
Actually,
yeah.
that's true. But yeah, and so don't forget to head over to our Reddit subreddit on.
subreddit on Reddit. You're doing
Our
this
subreddit
really well, Jack.
on Reddit, r/Psychon. You can follow us on Twitter at Retrograde Show. You can drop us an email at retrograde@psychon.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, because everyone likes Facebook. We're back in 2 weeks with Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, which, James, you've chosen. Why?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's like Mario, but better in every way. Fighting words.
We're going to go.
Everyone inhale quickly.
There's a wind.
That's a big one. But yeah, so make sure you play it before then and tune in 2 weeks for that show. So that's goodbye from me, Jack Marshall. It's goodbye from Zan.
Bye.
Goodbye from Anthony.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from James.